Hi, John with eTrailer. It's that time of year again, folks. If you're ready to hit the road and tow your Jeep, check out this base plate that we just installed. This is the Roadmaster Direct Connect base plate on our 2011 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited. Now, folks, this is just one of many base plates that we have available for your Jeep out there. So if this one doesn't quite suit you, make sure you check out our website, and we have many different available options for you. Now, with that said, let's take a closer look at this one. This is the Roadmaster Direct Connect base plate. This thing is powder-coated gloss black, which means it's going to last you for years. The installation's nice and easy, and I like all of the features that it has on it, with as far as the tow hooks welded on right here. Let's check out the operation here. You're going to have, depending on your pins, they'll come right off, and the arms simply pull, twist, and they come off, and it leaves your Jeep with a nice, almost factory look in the front here. This base plate is going to have a spot for your breakaway switch already welded on. It's going to have a spot for your wiring with some weld-on tabs for your arms. So there's really not a whole lot that you have to do when it comes to installing this or planning ahead if you're going to do the whole flat tow setup on your Jeep. Now, the Roadmaster base plate works seamlessly with the Roadmaster tow bars. Today we have an eTrailer tow bar. Not a problem. There's plenty of adapters that we have available on our website, and it works directly with almost all of the major manufacturing brands. And folks, keep in mind that the base plate is just one of 5 items that you actually need to be able to flat tow your Jeep safely and legally down the road. So the other items besides the base plate that you need tow bar wiring. This is going to transmit all of the signals from your RV to the back of your Jeep, and actually use the Jeep lights, your tail lights on the Jeep, for tail lights, brakes, left and right turn signal. Third thing that you need a supplemental braking system as well. This is going to help your Jeep slow down in the same controlled manner that your RV is, so that they slow down together and in a controlled manner. Fourth thing that you need a tow bar. This is the physical link that actually links up your RV and your Jeep. The fifth thing that you need, safety cables. In this instance, on our eTrailer tow bar, this is included with. Some of the tow bars that we have, you'll have to buy them separately, but these are here just in the event of a catastrophic failure of one of the parts and major components on here, and it'll keep everything together as you get off to the side of the road safely. So this is the overview, basically, of what you need. If you want to see how we installed this base plate and how easily it installs on the Jeep, stick around and we'll show you. So let's start a base plate install here. First thing we're going to do, we're going to take the rock guard off. On our Jeep today, we've got a plastic one. If you have a metal one, it's going to be similar. You're going to need a Phillips screwdriver, and I've got a trim tool here. You can also use a flathead screwdriver. And we're going along the front here. These things like to strip out. Sometimes you have to put pressure on them to get them to come out. We're going to go with try this one here. We'll come back with a manual screwdriver. So I've got all the fasteners out on the front, and this one. I can swing this down just to kind of show you the backside on these. You'll have this one here that attached in, and this one here. These fasteners don't really like to come out. They have a Phillips head on them, but a lot of times you'll sit there and spin and they're just not coming out. So just take a hook, get behind it, and pop it out. And you can always order these either online or at your local auto parts store. They'll have new ones for you. After a while, they'll fight them. You just want to replace them. Okay, so we got this off. We're going to set this off to the side right now. So let's turn our attention to the side of the Jeep. And we're going to start here with the passenger side. If you come and look at the frame right here, just below this body mount, this bushing, you're going to see a hole right here. You might. Your Jeep also may not have this hole. If it doesn't, you're going to have to drill, which means your install is going to be a little bit different. You should probably mock the base plate up on the bottom and then use the side plate to figure out where you need to drill. In this instance, we have the hole. on both sides, which is good. The bad part is on the inside of the frame rail, on the passenger side, you have a power steering line that's blocking the inside hole. On the driver's side, we have a transmission line blocking that. Let's go ahead and take a look at those now. So right here on the inside of the passenger side frame rail, you're going to see this line right here. This is the power steering line. It runs up to the power steering pump back here, and it comes up and across the frame and goes over to your steering gearbox. All we need to do is simply unbolt this and slide this forward. And I'm sorry, not unbolt, but loosen this hold down and slide the line forward. I've got a hook here. You can use a screwdriver if you like, and you'll see a little tab right up on top of this. I'm just going to put pressure down on that tab and pull out. And that's going to loosen that latch up. You'll see the hole on the inside. We can simply move the line forward. In our kit, we're going to have like a 5.5-inch bolt and a flat washer. These get run through these holes up here, and we need to run them from the inside out. So it might be easier to slide the flat washer up right now. My hand's going to block the camera right now, but you can see right there, I'm through. Now, when we're resetting this line, you don't want it, the top of this up here, you don't want it rubbing against the plastic, and you don't want this line rubbing against the bolt head either. Honestly, right now, we're probably going to leave it loose just so we're going to be able to tighten this down and do what we need to do right now. Let's take a look at some of the hardware that we're going to need right now. You're going to have a side bracket. Now, these are side specific as well. So the one for the passenger side that we need right here, you're going to see how it kind of flanges out like this. And it's going to get mounted up on our Jeep like this. And this is the hole right now that we're working on. I've got a 1/2-inch pipe spacer. We're going to have another flat washer, a lock washer, and a nut. So all of this stuff is just going to be finger tight right now. We'll take the pipe spacer here, run that on it. Just run that down. Leave it loose because we're going to need to be able to get the base plate up in here a little bit later. So we got this side done. We're going to run over to the driver's side right now, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with those transmission lines. Over here on the driver's side, it looks like we're going to be doing the same thing. It's a little bit harder to get to with this in the way, but I'm just going to loosen this latch up again and slide this forward. Okay. Let's see if we can get our bolt and washer in here. All right, so I was able to get that through. I had to take the trim tool here and kind of pry out the grommet that's holding that line in. And I was mistaken earlier. I thought it was the transmission lines when I was looking at it earlier. It's not. It's the same power steering line. So the power steering line that was over on the passenger side is blocking the driver's side as well. So we were able to get that in there. Like I said, I'm going to leave that loose. Just like the passenger side, we're going to put our 1/2-inch pipe spacer, the bracket up, and we're just going to tie everything up nice and loose. We're going to be placing the base plate up, and I just wanted to mention right now that this kit does not include red Loctite, and you need some for this kit. We're not going to be applying any right now because we're going to keep everything loose as we mount it on the Jeep and just kind of mock it up. I just want to show you real quick, we're going to be using the 1/2-inch bolt, split ring lock washer, and flat washer. And then on either side right now, we're going to be going through the bracket that we bolted up to the Jeep and we're going to be going through the top hole on either side for right now. You're going to see the 2 existing holes on either side. That's what we're going to be lining up with. Base plate, and then the bracket over. I'm going to put the bottom bolt in here. Now this is the time when we use these weld nuts, and we'll come in from the bottom and secure them. And we're going to go ahead and use the red Loctite now. We're going to tighten up the sides on each side and torque those down to the specs, because underneath here in the instructions it just has us bolt up to the bottom of the frame here. Well, we don't have the holes where we need them, so we're going to end up drilling down here. So I'd rather have the sides tight right now. This tab is already pretty flush with this bottom part of the frame, so I don't have to worry about that. But just so you know, we're going to be applying the red Loctite to our bolts now, and we're going to tighten these to the specs that are found in our installation manual. Okay, so both of these caught on this side. Before I torque them, I'm going to go around to the passenger side and do the same thing. And then once everything is hooked up, then I'm going to torque it. I'm going to do this on both sides, and then we can loosen up our original bolt that we ran through, hit that with red Loctite, and torque that back down. Once everything's tight, you can check your power steering line. Make sure that you have clearance all the way around this and it's not going to vibrate on the bolt head. And once you have it where you want it, just re-snap this and that'll secure the line. And do this on both sides. Check your clearances on the driver and the passenger side. Now these bottom brackets here, you may have a hole that you don't have to drill. On ours, we are going to have to drill. So I got a 1/2-inch drill bit here. These holes are oval, so just shoot for the center and make, using the 1/2-inch bit, I made a center pilot hole basically, and I'm going to use a smaller drill bit to drill a hole, and I'll step it up to this 1/2-inch on both sides. We can take the 2 backing plates. We're going to place these where we drilled our hole. You just reach up and inside. And then you can take the 2 remaining bolts here. They are the shorter ones out of the bunch that we get. And we'll apply the red Loctite. And we'll have the lock washer on the outside, then the flat washer. And simply snug these up and then tighten these to the specs that you're going to find in your installation manual. Now that everything's tight, we can get these out of our way. However you want to do it, you can wiggle them back and forth until they break off like that, or you can cut them. So the choice is yours. But get rid of these things. Now the only step after this would be to trim our rock guard here and then place it back up on the Jeep. We are not only installing a base plate, but we're going to be doing like tow bar wiring and other things. So For us, we're going to leave this off while we install all of those. If you're interested and wonder what you need to do as far as outfitting your Jeep with diode wiring for flat tow, we're going to have a video on that as well. For now, we're going to leave this off. We're going to wire it up, and we'll come back and we'll reinstall this later on. Okay, so we've got our wiring on and everything that we had to do on the Jeep. So the last step of the base plate installation is going to be trimming the rock guard here. There's some diagrams that they give you in the installation instructions telling you to mark off certain areas on the rock guard on either side. That's what we've done. For the middle here, because of the location of some of our equipment, their instructions aren't going to really help us here. So we're going to have to go kind of custom on ours here, but just know that in the instructions you're going to have directions on where to cut and mark. So this stuff, especially on the plastic one, you can use tin snips or aircraft snips to cut this. It will cut. I've got a Dremel tool here. This is just going to make it a little easier for me today. So we ended up following the directions for either side on these, and for the center section here, because we had the breakaway switch and this so close, we just cut a notch like this. It's really okay. We didn't lose anything as far as the mounting points. It kind of tucks in behind the base plate and everything, so it's going to have a nice fit, and it's still nice to have the rock guard. And that was a look at Roadmaster's Direct Connect base plate on our 2011 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited.